Hey YouTube, in this next set of videos, now as you can see by the playmat, well, I'm going to be shifting focus to Link Joker now. So I have retuned all my Link Joker decks. I got rid of Glendios, I don't use him anymore. He's still probably one of the best Link Joker decks out there, but he is still, he does require a lot of high level, play. Like, you can't just run Glendios and think you're gonna just win every game. It's a lot harder than people think, but it's one of the best decks for Link Joker out there. So right now, Glendios, I replaced him with Alter Ego Messiah, so this is the new one. So I'm gonna be showcasing that one. Updated Chaos Breaker Dragon, so my CBD deck. Chaos Breaker Dragon, he's what made Link Joker popular back in the day, and then before him there was Nebula Lord, so his deck is updated as well. And then I also have my updated Deletors as well. So 4 Link Joker decks, the evil Deletors, across the Star Vaders, all the way to the new Messiah generation stuff. So I guess today we'll do the Messiah one today, just to get that out of the way. So this is the newest one. And this is my budget Chaos, or not Chaos, this is my budget Link Joker deck. It's actually really easy to build. It's a lot cheaper to build than, like, say, Glendios or even any of the others, because some of these cards, like CBD for instance, are a little bit harder to obtain now since they've been out for a while. Still relatively easy to get though. But this one's really easy. All you need to do is, and this is the budget build, so that'll be reflected in the Stride deck. But yeah, so all you need is 2 trial decks and a couple of cards from the latest GBT3. So my trial deck, I was actually lucky enough to pull the World, the signed, this card here, the World in IR1. So I actually have 3 holo or foil Alter Ego Messiahs, and then I have that one common. So one trial deck had the holo and another the regular foil card, and then the other one had the standard foil net. So for Alter Ego Messiah, he is the new Link Joker Stride-based deck with the GB2 skill, and it's pretty interesting. So the new Link Jokers are not they're not what people assume them to be at first glance. Like, they still have the locking capability, but now they focus on locking their own stuff as well as locking the opponent's stuff, and it combos. It's really combo oriented in terms of how the attack order plays out, so it's a little bit more technical to play, kind of like a deck like Aqua Force. In how you actually attack. The attack patterns are really interesting now, and it's more focused on getting multiple chained attacks or combo attacks, which is, I like it a lot. It's actually quite interesting. For a Stargate clan, which traditionally was defensive, it's a little bit more like Nova Grappler now. So for Alter Ego Messiah, this deck is a whole lot of fun. He's a pretty good card. His GB2 skill is when a locked card is unlocked, you can Soul Blast 1 and draw a card. So they gave him CBD's Limit Break effect. Really, in my opinion, in playing a bunch of these GB2 decks now, GBT2 is equivalent to a Limit Break skill in terms of when you'll be able to actually utilize that effect. The next grade 3 is for Cradle of the Stars Stellar Maker. This card came out in GBT3. I think it's really the only decent alternate grade 3 without having to throw in a random Star Vader Legion, which I didn't really feel like doing, just because this is a Stride focused deck. So the goal is to try to win before the opponent is able to gain the upper hand if it's an opponent that uses Legion. So 4 of her, because it's a pretty decent alternate Vanguard. It does have a GB1 skill if you do have to ride it first. Otherwise, there's enough Stride fodder in here to search out Alter Ego Messiah, so that shouldn't be that big of a problem. Moving on to grade 2s, 4 Sunset Eagle Duskblade. A lot of people I've seen only run 2 or 3 of this. I really don't understand why. In my opinion, the way Bushiroad designed GB1 decks to be played was to run 3 or 4 of this. Especially 4. For me, if I'm going to build a GB2 based Vanguard deck, I'm going to run the max copy of this, because I think this is the main support card for Alter Ego Messiah in terms of the grade 2s. So he's really good. GB1 skill is when he's boosted, Counterblast 1, choose one of the opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards lock it, so he can lock front or back. Usually he's going to lock front. Next, 4 Lady Battler of the Gravity Well. This is a new card that came out in GBT3 recently, last month. And this is one of those combo type of decks, or combo cards that I was talking about. So this one, once per turn, GB1 skill is you can choose one of your rear guards and lock it. Now, it locks your own stuff, and then it gets 4K. So it's meant to combo with certain cards that want to be locked and then unlocked. And then an example of that is this guy. So 3 Awakening Messiah. When this unit is unlocked, his GB1 skill is when he's unlocked, you can choose one of your other rear guards, stand it, and it gets 2,000. So this is an example of one of those cards that helps you get like a 4th attack in. So 11 grade 2s. There's actually a promo card that came out, well, we'll get into that when we go over the grade 1s. So, 4 Flowers in Vacuum Cosmo Wreath. This surprisingly isn't that expensive. It's not too hard to get this copy of this unflipped G Perfect Guard. Otherwise, you can just run the trial deck one and it's fine. But this is just the unflipped one. I'm running it in here because this deck by far, well, all Link Joker decks tend to be very counterblast heavy, but this one, in terms of, because of the on stride and all that stuff, this one tends to be really heavy especially because this guy and the on stride will be locking a lot. So I am running this in here for now. I may actually swap it to another more counterblast heavy Star Vader based deck in the future, but for now it's going to be in here. And then I am running 4 stride fodder, mainly because in order for stride to overtake Legion, you have to stride as fast as possible. So 4 copies of this. Then 3 of the Asleep Messiah. This is the grade 1 Messiah. It's the 8K vanilla. It's pretty decent because you can combo it with, for instance, this guy. He can stand it and it'll become a 10K attacker or booster depending on where it is. And this deck, the way the cards get placed on the field is really kind of random at times in order to get some certain combos off. Another combo-oriented card, which was in the trial deck, which was surprisingly good card in the trial deck. So 3 Lockbreaker Riddle Bitter or Biter. This guy, his GB1 is when he attacks, you may choose a locked card and unlock it, and if you do, he gets 4K. That turns him into an 11K attacker. Remember, it's an 11K. Actually, no, he gets, yeah, it's when he attacks. So he has to be in the front row to do that. The interesting thing is there's actually a promo card. It's the Monk something of Link Joker, but it's a promo, and it's actually pretty pricey, so I don't actually have that card. But it's the grade 2 with his effect. So it's much better than him, because usually grade 1s are meant to boost, not attack. But because it's Link Joker, and most of the time the opponent will have 1 less interceptor, you can actually play also with 1 less interceptor. So it's not the end of the world having to run this guy instead of the grade 2. So it still works. I mean, you can still win your matches just as if he was the grade 2. It's just the numbers are slightly smaller, and you have to set up weird columns like these two together, for instance. So that's the grade 1s. For grade 0s, these are way out of order, but it's 4 heal, 4 draw, and 8 critical. So, and they're all the trial deck ones. Actually, no. This one's the GBT3, so this is the booster set one. So, the nice thing about Link Joker is the trial deck did give them beloved child of Super String Theory. She is the Margot clone for Link Joker. So, they finally actually have one of those. But yeah, for me, I'm just going with the standard 8-4-8 because it is good enough, especially in a budget deck like this. And the starter is Neon Messiah. He is also from the trial deck. I mean, you can either choose him or the grade 0 that came out in GBT3. When I first built the deck, I was actually using the GBT, the 3, the butterfly thingy that when it's unlocked or locked and then unlocked or something like that, you can choose one of the opponent's rear guards and lock it. You put it into soul and lock it. So, but this one, the effect tends to go off a lot faster because And it's good to search out another grade 3 Messiah just for more stride fodder. So for stride focus decks, I think Neon Messiah is a slightly better starter than the other one. But the other one is not bad at all. For strides, I am running 2 of the trial deck, Genesis Dragon, Judgment Messiah. It's generic. When it hits a Vanguard, choose a rare card in the opponent's back row, lock it, and choose up to 1 locked card and unlock it. So you don't actually have to unlock. The unlock is not mandatory. Just locking something in the opponent's back row is mandatory. So 2 of him. He's almost always the first stride. And then I am running 2 of the Nebula Dragon, Big Crunch Dragon. I said it was a budget deck, so if you don't have this guy, it's fine. You can run 4 of the Judgment Messiah. But this guy's actually not the really pricey stride unit for Link Joker right now. They have another one. So Amnesty Messiah, if you saw the card sleeve, Amnesty Messiah is actually the big grade 4 stride, but it's kind of pricey right now, so I don't have it. But 2 of him, he's good. He's one of those unflip to do stuff, so I can only call him out once. And then I am running 2 of the Fighters Collection Nebula Dragon, Maximum Seal Dragon. He's actually pretty decent. When he attacks a Vanguard, you can counterblast 1. He gets 5,000 for each locked card, and that counts your locked cards and your opponent's locked cards. And then the remaining 2 is, I don't have them with me right now, but it's Blizza and Atmos. So, but it could be anything. So even if you're running like a Legion, for instance, you could probably run Madu, or 2 more of this, or 2 more of that. It's just up to, it's personal preference. So, but this is just what I have right now. Anyway, guys, that was my Alter Ego Messiah deck. It's a budget deck. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.